Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Down here in Panther Point, get back here in Panther Lake. Again, there's a lot of water that's still pushed in here, so that's one thing you need to be aware of right now. Utilize it to your advantage while we still have it in here. At some point, all that extra water is going to drop out of here, and it'll be pretty drastic when it does. But for now, get back up in here in Panther Lake and wade these edges here, the deep drops on here. Throw your soft dines, have been working really well. Catch really nice trout on those. These are all in the 19s to 20-inch trout. They're really fat and solid fish that are all up in this area here. Some good redfish that are in this area. Throw your top water up against that shoreline. Worked a little back lake that's right here off of Panther Lake as well. It's got some good redfish that are holding in it. Just take your time, work all this area really solid. Your darker down south and your plastics and the supermodel have been really well. And take care of all these edges here. Good amount of bait that's working this area here, and you will find some quality fish. Cottonwood Bayou. Again, these mouths right along here have all been producing some solid trout in here. Good box trout. Your darker down south has been working well. Your soft dines have been working well. The burner shads by Down South Lure have been working well. Any of the flavor that you want to throw in here has been good. There's some a lot of these fish are starting to regurgitate shrimp as well, so if you've got the Marker 54 jerk shrimp, you may want to tie that on as well and work all this area here against the shoreline. In the guts in here as well. Again, the water that's all pushed in here is still up high, so it enables you to get back in some of these back lakes that you may not normally be able to get to, so take advantage while you can. Again, when these suckers drop out of here, then all that area will become a little bit more difficult to fish in the back lake, so do it while you can. But again, good redfish are pushing up along here. There's not as many of the bigger redfish, but there's some nice box redfish in here, and all your trout are all good box trout. Down here on Newcomb Point, all the way down the shoreline, work the piers that are there. You can wade underneath them. Also, if you got a kayak, you can use your kayak, and there's a pretty easy kayak area as well. But all this area here is nice, good, wadeable bottom. A lot of up and down in here, some good grass in here. There's been a good amount of bait working in here. The darker down south has been working the best through this area right through here. You've got some solid trout that are hanging in this area. A few redfish scattered up against the shoreline, but the trout have been more prevalent in this area. They've been pushing bait. Just take your time and work it. Work it all the way up to the point. All this area here has been real good. If you got a nice solid southeast breezes kick along here, it sets up really well. If you've got a nice, like a northern that just pushed in on us here not too long ago, it sets up well for that. For protection, you can get up here on the top side of it and work it back down toward the road. So it's really a good area for two different types of winds that you've got, with the exception of probably a west wind. Outside of that, all this area here is really good fishing. There's some good trout that are here. Your darker down south, mirror dines. Start throwing your corkies as well. Corkies are starting to really become in play and starting producing some good fish on. Swanee Lake. Get back down here in Old Swan Lake and get inside the lake area. Work the mouths from the inside out, because we've had nice southeast breezes kicking through here. Get up against the shorelines here. Throw your top water up against this. Throw your double D in here. There's been some scattered redfish all up and down the shoreline here. Again, with the extra water that we have pushed in here, all this back here comes really good in play. You got a nice bottom to work. It's all nice, good, solid, little squishy here and there, but find your bait working. Find it. Start working that area real hard with your top water, with your down souths. The burner shad have done real good back in this area as well. That water's just a tad bit off color, which makes it even better. Then you can incorporate those areas that's got the guts that come through there, and just start working those guts as you work to the outside. From inside outside, find your bait working. You'll find some trout that are pushed in there. Again, your scattered redfish, and all this area back in here has got some good amount of box fish that are holding. Down here in Spalding, again, the back lakes. Work these back lake mouths. They've got deep guts that are in them. There's been a good amount of fish that are hanging in this area here. Some really good trout that are real solid trout in here. Been catching those on the Supermodel Down South Lure darker version. Have worked real well. Again, your soft dines have worked really well. Letting that bait suspend and let it just gradually drop in there. Work that thing. Just be real patient with it. We had this cool front that pushed through earlier in the week. All this area down in here, we still have somewhat of a springtime pattern. So pattern those fish like you would do in the springtime. The water temps drop just a little bit, but not tremendous amount. They're still holding in the low 70s to mid 70s, depending on how much sunshine that we get. And as that water warms up, find these deeper edges there's still fish hanging on this shell. All up here, the Fingers and Carlos up there, they're still got fish that are hanging in there around that area. Water hadn't cooled off enough for them to run away just yet. So you have opportunities to catch your fish in here. Suspended baits, twitch bait, swim baits have all been really good here. Burner shads worked really good in here. Your jerk shrimp has been pretty productive in this area. So there's a variety of baits that you can throw, work in these areas here, trying to locate your fish.
Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Larry Bell.